Okay, this is probably not what you were expecting for my Sunday morning. I went and forgot my keys to the building where the coins are. And so I'm going to do a little bit of driving, show you around, and then head home and grab the keys. We'll hopefully have enough time for the coins. I'm almost tempted to simply walk around, but I don't have my battery to keep the phone going for the hour. So, poor planning on my part, I suppose. For those who are wondering, here is what the new sheriff's office is looking like. Instead of that 1900 building, it's going to be, just a whole bunch of cement slabs that are fitted together. And let me drive around three sides at least to give you a look. This end down here will become the garage area, I assume, as there's a big garage door entrance. They haven't closed up that area yet, but this is what it'll look like on the north side. So quite a change from that the 1900s building it used to be, but it'll accommodate more prisoners, allow them to hire a female deputy in case so that they can house female prisoners as well as male prisoners, and fit to the modern standards as far as what you need to run a jail, I guess, as well as be a better facility for the sheriff and his deputies. At least that's the hope, and if you're going to spend a few $1 million, it better work out. The roads still have a good slick of ice on them. There's a fair amount of snow, but it is supposed to get above freezing today, so some of that will thaw. I hope you're all taking the opportunity to talk amongst yourselves and enjoy yourselves. There's just 16 people between the two channels, so that's a good amount of people. I don't know what the split is between the two channels, but I want to thank all of you for coming. I will set down the phone and try to give you a look of outside while I am gone to get the keys. Not sure how to do that. I don't have any kind of way of trying to keep it that way. I guess you'll just get a good view of the sky. I'll be back as soon as I can. Okay, we lost 3 people in that process. I guess it wasn't all that exciting. That's rather distracting when I'm trying to drive, so it's probably best I don't. And then we lose cell signal. There is a look at 5 Island Lake. There is a look at the sunrise. And out on there on the lake is somebody who has set up their tent for ice fishing. We have an area of the lake over here where they have pushed all the snow away so that people can come out and ice skate if they want. I don't know if they do that very often. I've never seen anyone do it, but as you know, it's possible because I'm not watching it all the time. Come on, squirrel, get out of my way. Yeah, the lock at the building would be easy enough to pick, but I don't every day carry picks with me, so that would explain why I didn't pick the lock. But went back for my keys. I guess I could have went to the office to get lock picks, but that would have took longer. And for those over on Starry's Lost and Found, Ruin International made the comment about the lock picker who had to drive back and get his keys. Which you probably didn't see as you're not over there on the Starrylock channel. We are almost back to the building. Yes, that would be a violation of the rules. Also, I don't own the lock, so I wouldn't have permission to pick the lock either. So I'd been violating all sorts of rules by doing it. Chaz, good morning. Dinglehopper has been hiking. Emily Blessing. Liz from DiggingCanuck has joined us. at least for a time before she has to go off and get ready for her live. I bet you she doesn't have to drive across town and get keys. And we have to shut off the blower on the furnace, otherwise that's all you hear when the furnace kicks in. One professional act after another. I at least remembered my charging cable so that the phone doesn't die. Okay. We are getting closer. I am sorry for the delays. I've almost taken up a quarter of the time just running around acting as though I know what I'm doing. Okay, you can see me for the first time. We're getting closer. As you can tell from the title, I'm going to be looking at the 17 coins that I have from Charles P Wirth, also known as Chuck Wirth, and sometimes simply abbreviated on his coins as CPW, which looks strangely like CPU to a person who works on computers all day. I do not have any biomaterial on Charles Wirth or Chuck Wirth. The closest thing I have is back in, excuse me, back in May of 2022, there was coins put up for sale by someone who identified them as the estate of Charles Chuck Wirth and said that they were selling them due to his recent death. But both that sale and the seller have vanished from eBay. So I don't know. And the only reason I found it is because there is a group on Facebook that's called Hobo Nickels. And what Hobo Nickels is set up to do is scrape every nickel that's for Hobo nickel that's for sale on eBay and put them into this group on Facebook. So that's the only reason I even know that this sale happened. So if that eBay entry was accurate, then Charles Wirth is dead. And unfortunately, that's the only information I have about him, is that he's dead. I should go through and romance the chat. I pulled the first 4 of the Charles Worth coins, and we'll take a look at those in a little bit here, as I'm able to calm down and not be rush. First person in the house that StreamYard tells me is GKeyman565. And then Rune International arrived. And Legless Lockpicker. So the Starrylock side was definitely busy this morning. Dana Reed arrived. 54 Degrees North is here. Lockpicking Engineer from Australia is here. Chris Capoon. Dinglehopper. Really nice Explorer channel in Denmark. DNL Treasures. Yasmin Hiking Mission. Ohio Metal Maven. Stu's Metal Detecting. Blistering Barnacle Magnets. I can't tell you how honored that you've chosen to spend an hour of your Sunday with me. That I am. Pocket Woman from Australia and Rune International from Denmark. 3 Good Nerds is here. 3 Good Nerds is in the middle of their 10-day of give. It's sort of their 250th subscriber giveaway, but they're spreading it over the entries over 10 days. So if you see their entry, make sure you go and look them up and check them out. They are mostly card collectors and they Pokemon and Star Wars, but they also do coins and it's a collector's channel. And I'm not much of a collector's person, but I watch it because they're enjoyable as a family. Emily Blessing is here. Chaz73 is here. Chaz has some excellent walks, usually during the day in the UK, which makes the early morning here in Iowa. And she also does a lot of work with soy wax. So if either of those interest you, it's well worth checking out. Orlando, the 717 detector, is here. Evil Arch Conservative is here. Eagle Eye Prospector. Donna Reed makes the comment, I heard it's illegal to carry them with you. That law varies a lot depending on what state you're in or what country you're in. In some states, and I believe Iowa is one of them, getting caught by the police and carrying lockpicking tools, they can consider those burglary tools and arrest you unless you can prove you had other reason as to why you were carrying them, even though you're not committing a crime other than carrying them, but it's not illegal to have them. But if the police want to rack on other charges like possession of burglary tools, they can't. So. Marty's nuts about digging is here from Canada. I have not seen Tripwire and straight up metal detecting. He's been here quite frequently, but maybe he's recovering from last night because he had a big celebration and giveaway for his 1K. Moon over Miami. I'm 20 after. I know. I'm trying not to rush too much, but trying to say hello to everyone before we move on. I think I caught up because I don't have dozens of people. I mean, I have dozens. I guess that's true. I do. I'm at 24, so between the two channels. But okay. I do not have the camera, the Coinic cam hooked up, so we're going to have to deal with me doing close-ups like this. This is the first Charles Wirth we'll look at. See if we can get this without too much glare off of the plastic. I know that looks kind of fuzzy. The coin is taken a 1973 Abraham Lincoln penny, and he has carved swirls all over it, both in the background and on the figure itself. And then he has entitled that Bad Dreams. So I don't know if he had a nightmare. He may have had a nightmare and got inspired. I don't know. This next coin says Ein Euro cent. So I would assume that that is a German euro. And the front side has had a deep carve on it. I need a better setup, don't I? Yeah, you can admit it. This is entitled The Swami. And he has deep carved, removed everything that was on this side of the euro, and then carved a skeletal figure with a crystal ball. I am Zaxxon is in the house. Can't get too close or the focus goes out. I'm too far away and you can't see. I think you can make out the figure and the crystal ball there. This is done on a 1981 penny. He has given Abe Lincoln a full beard, a bowler hat, and a cigarette, and entitled this is Man of Means. Whoever owned this collection before me labeled this as by CP. And then wrote his full name on the back. I do not see on here. Oh, there is a place where he does put an abbreviation CP on there. This swirl, which will probably be very clear. This is taking a US penny again, and it adds this swirl throughout it. And he calls this mortal coil and try. The In God We Trust remains at the top. I don't know if he... And then... he added his CP initial on there, and then has that swirl pattern through across the shield. Lowell Forbes has joined us. And God is Great is here, all the way from Japan. Once we get past the early modern carvers, I do not have a lot of biomaterial. I should. As I have contact with several of these people, ask them if there was biomaterial that you would like me to share, I suppose, and maybe even try to get a couple of them as guests, but I have not done that yet. Okay, let's get this turned so that you can see it properly. Here's one of my favorites from Charles Wirth. This is entitled Baseball 1890s. And I think it carries off the motif of late 19th, early 20th century baseball player. He has the big, huge sideburns and a mustache and his ball player cap. I am not sure the original denomination. Ah, there it is. It says Mexican dime. I'm not exactly sure what that means, is they don't have dimes. The backside establishes clearly as a Mexican coin, but also has Charles P's CP on it, so we know that it is a Charles P Wirth coin. And then the is a deep carving, removing the original figure completely. And then it is entitled Non-Directional Car. Josh C. 671 is waving hello. We'll grant you moderatorship. Metal detecting with Randy is here. I don't know Josh C 671, but you got to be a subscriber to even put an entry, so bots aren't going to take that time. This is carved in a 1936 Philadelphia Type 2 Buffalo nickel, and it is entitled Haunted House. And we clearly have a jack-o'-lantern on there, and then a house to the one side. Oh, you're at 8:30. I am going to take a small break from the coins, and I'm going to go over the description that you will find both on Starrylock and Starry's Lost and Found for upcoming lives. This is almost a complete deep carve, removing the original figure, but you can still see the original figure's mouth and nose and eye. But it is added, I might be star patterns or flowers, I'm not sure, and then a crescent moon off to the one side with a mustache and bushy eyebrow. And I do not see anywhere on the back where his CP is present. That is a 1937 Philadelphia Type 2 Buffalo nickel. Tin Man Magnet Fishing has joined us. Thank you for joining in. Jimmy Cloak is here. If you are looking at this on a device where you can open up the description, you'll see my short little paragraph blurb about covering Charles P Wirth today. But then I will get into the links for the other lives going on right now. There is a link to both Rob's channel as well as Charlie's channel, and then the link to the live over at FL Thunder Digging with Rob that is going on simultaneously with mine. Starting up shortly after I end, there is a link for Liz over at DiggingCanuck. She was in the chat earlier. And her show can run 90 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, so there might be a bit of an overlap with MAERvideo. The Rob and Charlie show start at the same time as mine, but he generally runs 2.5 hours. They have tons of giveaways. And then they will send people over to MAERvideos. I don't know if Liz does that or not, but if you're watching Rob's show, you sometimes will miss the early bird giveaway over on Marlin. And I have a link both for Mayor's video and for straight up metal detecting, as well as a link to today's video. Which Kovaction made the comment that he enjoyed today's thumbnail for Marlin's show, but he was pretty sure his wife wouldn't. So, because I always share a link to Marlin's show on my community tab, and he saw it there. So he might be joining in just because he really liked the thumbnail. Guedos has moved his Hangover Sunday. It used to be at 12:20 Eastern. He has moved it to 12:35 Eastern. I think that comes from the day when he discovered when he was on here that his show overlapped slightly with Marlin's. No guarantee at 12:35 that Marlin will be done, but he generally tries to get done by then. And finally, this is the week that John, Clayton, and Percy will be having the channel on the Sunday live show on Percy's channel, The Mercy and Metal Detector. And there's a link both to the Percy's channel and to his live, which will be at around 2 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I sort of treated that like a commercial, but you know, I think it's really important to share out who else is having lives today. If I knew a metal detecting channel doing a live in the morning, I'd mention them too, just because, you know. And Tony from Fun with Dirt is here. And yes, indeed, he will be the Hangout guest on MAERvideos Live today. So we have taken a look at 8 of Charles Wirth's coins. As I said, I do not have any information on him other than based on the eBay sales from May of this year. It seems that Mr. Wirth passed away earlier in 2022. For the fan of skulls, we'll be getting into some skulls. We'll also be getting a look at a variant of his Mortal Coil coin that we saw earlier. Or maybe this is the original and the other is the... I have grabbed 8 more out of here, which will finish up our Charles Wirth collection. I guess I only have 16 of them. Thought I had 17. I don't know about Paul. I have been busy all week and not a chance to look for videos. Depth Spader is here. John Clayton has joined us. And the Paul that Pocket Woman was referencing is Paul Springett. All I know is about a week ago, he put a heart onto one of my comments. So I know he was around since at least up till then, but I don't know anything beyond that. Okay. This is carved on a 1986 Denver penny, but he has done a deep enough carve that he has taken it down to the zinc. And this is a little tricky to see even in person with the coin. Let's see if I can angle it right and you can make out the figure. This is called Gone Fishin' Snoop. And has Snoopy with a hat and a fishing pole and the sun in one corner. So obviously unconcerned with copyrighted material. But I find it interesting that he deep carved it all the way down to the zinc, taking all the outer copper off. So I don't think I can get that caught, though, in the light. It's a very shallow carve. The next one is called Zabi the Zombie. And it is taking the 2017 dime and taking Franklin Roosevelt and giving him zombie-like features. There we go. I was going to have a Stickles pack giveaway today. But the whole key thing sort of, threw that out the window. So we're just going to cover coins. Okay, this is a variant or a repeat of the Mortal Coil and Try. Other than at the one end over here, you can see what looks like a straight edge screw in there, which is a variant off of that with the swirl. It leaves the God in God we trust. Matter of fact, it does not clean sweep anything. You can make out the date, Liberty, and then he has a swirling pattern of the Mortal Coil on there. He has, I'm not sure what those are supposed to be. It's like adding rivets to the shield to hold it on there. And then he has his initials on there, CP. And Pocket Woman has a hospital appointment. I was going to try to get some sleep before going, so all the best. Okay, we have a 2000 Kennedy $50 modified. This, you can still see the Denver mint mark. You can tell that it's a bit worn because the hair follicles are definitely thinning out, or maybe that's something Charles did. He simply calls this zombie, spelt sort of like Bambi. And then gave JFK the skeletal face. Lock-picking scowl is here. On the back side of this is not his initials, but at the top of the shield. And I don't know if I can get this so that you can see it. He has added the abbreviation NWO, which I believe is New World Order, but I could be wrong. We have only 4 coins left. This is entitled Johnny B. It's a 1995 dime. We give a wide not sure what you call the ribbon across the man's hat like that, but it's a fedora style hat with a cigarette stuck into FDR's mouth. It's called Johnny B. And if you look carefully right down in here, if you had the ability, or if I had the damn camera on, the coin cam on, you would be able to see the CP on there. So he put it on the front this time and not the back. The back does not seem to have had any modifications, but has a lot of, has darkening for half of it. So I'm not sure if that's something he did or if that's wear and tear. Next one is a 1999 Philadelphia nickel. And Jefferson is looking pretty gruesome here. He is down to a spinal column, a skull, and his powdered wig. Back road exploits. Yeah, sorry about stumbling over. Two back was Kennedy. The last one was an FDR dime. And if you want to look at the Kennedy again, I can bring that up. There's the Kennedy $50. Also in skeletal form. I know some people are really fond of the skeleton look. I'm actually getting kind of over it, and I'm tending to buy right now coins from Steve Areno, who does a lot of caricatures with the coins. He makes it sound like it's one huge family. I'm sort of appreciating the old school look without the skeleton. But this coin is rather unusual. Most coins carve on the front and sometimes the back. This one has left the 1936 Indian head alone. But has modified the buffalo with a deep carve in places to remove the buffalo's legs, and has made Santa Claus. The Kennedy coin had the New World Order, the NWO, on the back of it. There is the Kennedy again, and then at the top of the shield on here, it has added NWO. But I'm not sure without the coin cam that I could clearly show it to you. But there is the buffalo nickel carved with the buffalo being modified into being Santa Claus. And the buffalo hump into Santa's bag of gifts. And finally, just like the mortal coil is repeated, this is a repeat of an earlier coin as well. Actually calls this Old Man Moon. The moon is actually bearded instead of just a mustache. And instead of having what might be flowers or starbursts, it has the surface of the moon with the nose, mouth, and eye of the Indian figure emerging from the far side. And this is a 1936 Philadelphia Type 2 Buffalo Nickels. So we were off to a rocky start to begin with, but we ended up pretty well. I managed to get covered Charles P Wirth, Chuck Wirth. If I find out straight up metal detecting has made it. Had a rough night yesterday, but has to say good morning to everyone. Sorry to hear you had a rough night. You can catch the replay when you feel up to it if you want to take a look at the coins of Charles Wirth. I am going to email later today or maybe Monday Brent Pearson, see if he wants to give me any biomaterial. I know a little bit with Brent Pearson, but not a whole lot. Wayside Wade is in the house. But looking on YouTube, most of there was quite a few carvers that were doing short tutorials or talking about their coins about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and then it stopped. I guess it didn't catch on, so they just stopped doing it. And you'll find most of them on Instagram and Facebook these days. So. Ohio Metal Maven says, now I want a Medusa Hobo coin or an Eleanor Roosevelt one. And there are carvers out there. If you get see, there we go. Steve Areno, whose real name is Steve Phelps, he puts it on all his cards. When you buy a coin of his, you get a card. Thank you for buying, and then the name. And he includes his contact email because he does custom coins. There are several of them that do. You'll get varying prices depending on. And in case you're wondering how I just happened to have that at hand, the final page in my book, I'm storing all the correspondence, all the business cards and so forth. So that would be somebody you could contact at least. And I know Steve Areno does people generally, so he might. He generally sells his coins for around $20 to $30, which makes it more economical than some of the others. I do not know if Brent Pierce does custom carvings or not, but he would be another person that would. We Go Places is here. Now I got to look back for Wayside Wade's comment because Ohio Metal Maven says that would be cool. And what did Wade say? His hand is raised. Did someone make a Medusa out of Eleanor? Not to my knowledge at this point, but it may be possible that Nicole's going to hire someone to do it. So. We're at 55 minutes. Certainly not enough time for an improv giveaway, so we're going to have to end it there. The Starrylock channel should automatically redirect into Rob's video. You need 1,000 subscribers in order to redirect to live. It's a great way to chain a series of videos together. But Starry's Lost and Found is currently at 936, so I'm a little short, 64 short from. I've been growing at a really good rate. I put on 36 people in the last week, so if it continues at that pace, yeah, there's a lot of people that may not deserve the
hobo carving treatment that they receive. So I don't know. That's the call of the person making it. Expressions of the Outdoors is in the house and saying good morning to everyone. If I continue at the pace of growth I am having, and they could easily stall out, so I'm not going to rely on it. I should be up to 1K sometime in February, which, as I was doing my 750 giveaway in January, it's a pretty good growth rate. I'm not really sure what's causing it. It might be the shorts. I know I get a lot. Thursday, Saturday, and Monday, I am putting out shorts for the nickels. I have, up to this point, been highlighting coins that I have just purchased, or I should say just received. But we'll be moving into the collection as soon as I run out of new coins, because unless something catches my attention, I'm going to save some money and not buy any for a while. But I've surprisingly not had a purge on YouTube for over a month. I've had like 1 or 2 people disappear in a day, not, a purge. Most everyone gets a purge once they hit 1,000, though, so we'll see. One final note before we move on. My audio problem, somebody mentioned that the audio problem was combined with a video problem last week, which gave me a clue as to the actual problem. The problem was not my phone, although I have picked up a Bluetooth headphone with a built-in mic for future use. I obviously didn't have time to set it up today, but the problem was my Wi-Fi. And as soon as I heard it was both video and audio, it made me think it was Wi-Fi, because that would have been the common factor between the two, as well as the phone. But I didn't think the phone was going to have its video and audio fail. And then over the week, the video and audio has worked fine. So, all right. We are at 59 minutes. You can move on and go check out Liz's Sunday morning, or you can go over to Rob's. The links are down in the description. Starrylock channel should automatically redirect. And take you there as soon as I end. So I am going to end now. Take care, everyone, and we will see you soon.